Almost every Excel formula references some ranges or cells from the current worksheet, other worksheets, or even different files. And almost every task in Excel needs some copying and pasting. Range references are important when you copy and paste things around. Let us look at an example. Here I have some sales data and I want to calculate a discount on it. So I'll type the formula sales into discount percent. And this formula seems right, but as soon as I copy it down, it doesn't work. The intention was to calculate 5% on 1173. So let us see what's happening. If we put our cursor in the formula bar, this cell reference is moved down. That is okay. But this cell reference is also moved down, and that was not intended. So I'll go to this cell and make the row reference absolute by putting a dollar sign in front of it, and then I'll copy down the formula. And now it works because this cell has moved and this cell has not moved because the row was made absolute, so it did not move the row reference. What happens when I copy it across? I will paste it here. Again it breaks because now the column reference has moved one column right when I copied it here. So in the original formula, I will again make the column absolute by putting a dollar sign and then copy it here. But this reference has also moved from 738 to 36.9, which is not correct. So in the original formula, I have to make sure that the column reference doesn't move when I copy it across. So I'll correct the original formula and I will paste it again, and then it works. Now this reference has not moved and this reference has also not moved. So this is working now, and I will copy it down here and here, and it works fine. So range references are important when you are copying formulas down or across. So that example shows us that we have to think carefully before designing our formulas, and we have to test it again and again. Now let us look at the formula bar once again. This reference has dollar sign in front of column reference as well as row reference. So this is called an absolute cell reference, and the cell will not move column wise or row wise if you copy the formula across or down. This reference is column absolute, but the row is relative because there is no dollar sign in front of it. So if you copy the formula down, the row will move, but the column will stay fixed. This is called a mixed reference because it has column which is absolute and row which is not absolute. You saw that while manipulating the formula, I put the dollar sign manually in front of row and column, but you can do that using a shortcut key, and that shortcut key is F4. If you press F4, it cycles through all the iterations of making row and column absolute or relative. So if I press it a few times, it makes the cell reference relative. If I press it again, it makes it absolute. If I press it again, it makes the row absolute and column relative. If I press it again, it makes the column absolute and row relative. And again, it makes it relative. And again, it makes it absolute. So F4 is the key, and you have to press it a few times to see what it's doing. You must be thinking, so what is the big deal? Why is it so important that you have created a separate video on absolute and relative cell references? This topic is the base of every formula, and if you don't understand it properly, you will not be able to write good formulas. There will be errors in your sheets, and later you will be sorry for them. So pay special attention to your formulas when you are designing them. This is also important when you are applying conditional formatting to a range. I have applied conditional formatting to this range, and if I go to conditional formatting dialog box, manage rules, you can see that I have written this formula and I have applied background color on it. Now this formula also has cell references. You can see the dollar sign in front of it. So the column is absolute here, and if I copy the formula across, the conditional formatting will work on the basis of column F only, but the row will change. What is more, if you go inside the formula and put your cursor here, it doesn't highlight any cells. In the cells, if you put your cursor in the formula, it at least shows you the cells visually by highlighting them. In conditional formatting and other features, you don't get that facility. So it becomes more difficult to understand the conditional formatting which is getting applied. So believe me, this topic is very important and you must understand it in your initial days of working with Excel. So that was cell references in a nutshell. If you liked the video, please click on the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for your time.